now we'll go skip over the page, top of page 17. So if someone would depart from this world without perceiving his own world, it would be of no use to him. That world is no use to him. Right, certainly no use to us on the deathbed, as it remains unknown to him. Just like the Veda that is not recited as a rite. So there's often these references to this mainstream. Remember, the yoga is going on the margins of society. The mainstream religion is Vedic ritualism. Don't think everybody in ancient India was a yogi. No, they were. It's a margin. These are radical kind of characters. One became the Buddha, one became Mahavir, and the yogis. They're not. The mainstream religion is Vedic, materialistic Vedic ritualism, where you do Vedic sacrifices, quite similar to the other Indo-European cultures, and you ask the celestials for stuff, for boons. Nothing particularly spiritual about it whatsoever. Very materialistic, actually, even though the hymns are beautiful and so forth. So what's the point of this world then? If you leave it without knowing your own innermost world, in other words, what's the purpose of life? That's the subtext here. The purpose of life is to know yourself, just like the great Greek philosophers would say. It is the self alone that a man should venerate in this world. What's the subtext here? Don't venerate the celestial beings with ritualism. Maybe they can give you the rain. Maybe they can give you victory over your enemies. And it's never denied that. By the way, there's no Vedic text says the Vedic rituals don't work. In fact, they assume that they do. The critique is not that, what are you throwing stuff in the fire for? It didn't rain. Don't you see? You just wasted a whole bucket load of grain. Never. The assumption is it works. If you chant your mantras perfectly, can have the sound vibration can enact cosmological change. That's the assumption. The critique is not that it doesn't work. The critique is, why are you wasting your time seeking ephemeral things? It does work. And sure, it will rain. But then what? Tomorrow you're going to do another sacrifice? And then what? And another one? And another one? And then what are you going to do at your deathbed? What good is all that going to be? That's the critique. Seek the true, seek the real, seek the eternal. These are the teachings of the Upanishads. Okay? So if someone venerates his self alone, not the celestial beings, just his self, that's the yogi, that right of his will never fade away. The practices that we do. Even Krishna at the end of the Gita says, if you don't finish in this life, you pick up in the next life. It's never lost. Right meaning, a set of practices. That right of his will never fade away, not like a Vedic ritual. It fades. You get whatever it is you're supposed to get, and then what? Then you do another ritual. Because from his very self, he will produce whatever he desires. In other words, his self is the ultimate foundation of everything. Okay, so these are wonderful Jnana Yoga passages.